The naive intern had only been with the company for 3 months, and my husband intended to make her a new shareholder. His friend tried to persuade him. Chloe served substandard liquor to clients, causing one to be hospitalized with internal bleeding. She sent an inappropriate get-well gift, e.g., funeral flowers, to a sick client, causing him to have a heart attack on the spot. She accused foreign clients of being disloyal, almost getting the company sued. Are you really sure you want someone like that to become a new shareholder? Many of the company's long-serving mid to senior executives don't even have shares yet. If you do this, won't it demoralize them? And besides, will your wife agree? She's the company's second largest shareholder. My husband took a drag from his cigarette and chuckled. Grace will definitely agree, she never defies my orders. As for the old guard, if they don't fall in line, they can get out. While as young and prone to mistakes, she has an ambitious spirit. What's wrong with recognizing talent in unconventional ways? When I look at Chloe, I'm reminded of Grace when she was young. She suffered so much with me. I couldn't protect the young Grace then, so I can only protect the young Chloe now. I can't let her go through the same hardships we did. I listened in silence, then turned and walked away with a cold laugh. At the shareholder meeting, my husband proposed that Chloe become a new shareholder. The company's senior executives voiced their opposition, but I raised my hand. I agree. Anyway, this heavily indebted company was just looking for someone to take the fall. I stopped outside Marcus's office window. Michael's voice spoke again. Marcus, are you perhaps acting on a personal bias by insisting on bringing Chloe into the shareholder meeting? Marcus let out a light chuckle. Michael, I won't beat around the bush with you. Yes, I've developed feelings for Chloe. As for Grace, she's nothing but a social butterfly. Why now? How do you think those big deals come about? Isn't it all thanks to her looks and her body? Why do those major clients only recognize her and no one else? Who knows how many times she's slept with them privately? She's utterly dirty. My body stiffened abruptly, as if doused with ice water. I drank until my stomach bled and forced smiles until my facial muscles ached for this company, only for him to call me utterly dirty? Marcus paused. But I also know she did it for the company. I just had to turn a blind eye. But she got dirty, and Chloe can't. Chloe is as clean as a blank slate, and I have to protect her, help her rise quickly, and keep her from going down Grace's dirty path. Michael was deeply perplexed. But what's so special about Chloe? Why does she get all the benefits? Marcus took a puff from his cigarette, seemingly lost in thought. Don't you see? Her innocent, pure, and kind demeanor, it's so much like Grace in college. And she's even a bit more delicate than Grace was back then, making you want to protect her. Michael hesitated. Innocent? Pure? Grace wasn't really like that back then, was she? I remember her being quite strong-willed and hardworking. Just then, the office door burst open with a bang, interrupting Michael. Marcus! Chloe rushed in, barely glancing at Michael beside her, and immediately settled onto Marcus's lap. Her arms skillfully wrapped around his neck as she nestled into his embrace. Marcus showed no embarrassment. Instead, he dotingly wrapped his arms around her waist. What is it, my little queen? What trouble have you stirred up now? Chloe pouted and shifted in his lap. I accidentally sent our purchase price list to Mr. Robert instead of the product brochure today. Now he knows how much profit we make and he's furious. What should we do, Marcus? I really didn't mean to. Marcus burst out laughing, as if it were the funniest thing. I thought it was something major. This is nothing, just leave it to Grace to handle. She's the best at sorting out these kinds of messes, she can fix any problem. Chloe's eyes lit up. So, if this project is secured, will it count as my achievement? Will be mad? Marcus pinched her cheek, his tone indulgent. Of course it's yours. Silly girl, the credit, the bonus, it's all yours. What can she say? I'm here. Chloe immediately beamed with delight and gave Marcus a loud peck on the cheek, completely unconcerned. Michael, sitting nearby, was visibly uncomfortable, his face flushed with extreme awkwardness. Marcus, I just remembered I have something to do. I'll take my leave now. Marcus patted Chloe's backside. Chloe, get up for a moment, I'll see Michael out. Chloe whined and squirmed, hugging him tighter. No, I'm tired. Marcus, carry me. Marcus smiled, a mixture of helplessness and enjoyment, and waved goodbye to Michael while still holding Chloe. Michael shook his head, sighed, and quickly left. Before the door fully closed, intimate kissing sounds and Chloe's soft moans could be heard from inside. I stumbled back a step, slowly turned, and walked away. 10 years. A full decade. Marcus and I started from nothing and built this empire together. I thought we were partners fighting side by side, a couple who had shared thick and thin. And he, using the very memories of our shared struggles as an excuse, was now protecting another woman's innocence and naivety. In just 3 months since Chloe joined, Marcus had already set many precedents for her, not only spending millions but also alienating several long-term clients, leading to indirect losses of at least hundreds of millions. I had warned him, but he simply told me not to overthink it. Young people need opportunities to make mistakes, and some clients are indeed too demanding. If we lose them, so be it. Left with no choice, I had to clean up Chloe's messes while she created them. If it weren't for me, the company would have faced a major crisis long ago. But what did all my hard work earn me? I let out a sudden, scornful laugh, realizing how foolish I had been. I took a deep breath and pressed the intercom button. Book tickets for Mia and me to Seaview City. We're leaving tonight. Chapter 2. The next morning, as I was getting ready in my hotel room, my phone rang. It was Marcus. Grace, where are you? Chloe's project has gone completely off the rails. The client is furious, threatening to cancel the partnership and blacklist us in the industry. You need to handle this for her immediately. He was roaring with rage, and I held the phone a little further from my ear. Didn't you say some clients were too demanding? That if we lost them, so be it? How come you're changing your tune now? Marcus paused, stumped by my retort, then started shouting again. Is this client the same? He's one of our long-term clients, bringing in 20 million every year. Are you out of your mind? Do I need to remind you of this? His words truly changed on a dime. I held back my temper. I'm in Seaview City right now, and I'm busy. Marcus, didn't you always say I was too assertive, monopolizing projects and not giving newcomers a chance to learn? I think this is the perfect opportunity. Let Chloe handle it independently so she can grow quickly. Marcus became even more infuriated. You're her mentor. Isn't it your natural duty to guide her? How can you just abandon it? I'm telling you, if this project falls through, you'll be held responsible. I let out a soft laugh. Oh, really? In that case, if this project miraculously succeeds, will the bonus and credit be mine? Marcus clearly hadn't expected me to make demands so directly. He paused, then said with displeasure. Grace, why have you become so calculating? Fighting for credit with a newcomer? You're a senior executive and a shareholder. You should have the magnanimity to support newcomers. You can't hog all the key resources forever, can you? You should step down and seriously consider going home to have children. That's what truly matters. He finally spoke his mind. Everyone in the company respected me. When issues arose, most came to me for consultation, not him. He had long resented me for sidelining him, eager to chain me down with the identity of a dutiful wife and loving mother, forcing me out of the company to make it easier for him and Chloe to be together. My gaze turned completely cold. Marcus, you're right, training newcomers is very important. So why don't you personally mentor Chloe? You're the boss, leading by example will surely be more effective than me guiding her. Marcus was utterly enraged, his voice suddenly rising sharply. That client only recognizes you. No one else will work. I don't care where you are or who you're meeting, fix this immediately. Otherwise, don't blame me for revoking your shareholder status. With a click, he roared and hung up, not even giving me a chance to argue. Revoke my shareholder status? I murmured to myself. Marcus, have you forgotten how this company grew from a small workshop to what it is today? Do you really think your 40% stake allows you to do whatever you want and lord over everyone? I quickly calculated in my mind. I held 30% of the shares, and the other 6 executive shareholders held 30%. Whose share was he planning to take to bring Chloe in? No matter whose, he was digging his own grave. I still called Chloe's client, paid for a gift out of my own pocket, and offered a 90% discount on all orders starting next quarter. It took a lot of effort, but I finally appeased the client. Mia, who had been listening quietly beside me, finally couldn't hold back and said with displeasure, Aunt, why are you still cleaning up Chloe's messes? She's just a manipulative seductress who causes more trouble than she's worth. It was her own stupidity that created this mess, and Uncle, he's just. I raised a hand, cutting her off. Mia, Aunt will teach you another lesson today. In business, you can hold a grudge against people, but never against money. As for Chloe, let her enjoy her moment. The higher she jumps now, the harder she'll fall later. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I stood up, picking up my purse and jacket. Get ready. I have a meeting with the trust people tomorrow. That's what truly matters right now. After all, securing what's rightfully mine is the most concrete thing. As for this company, already riddled with holes, if Marcus and Chloe want it, they can have it. Chapter 3. Chloe's project was still successfully signed. Marcus threw a celebration banquet for her. In the banquet hall of the five-star hotel, Chloe held a wine glass, beaming with delight. Several empty bottles of Romani Conti sat on the table. All the project department employees were there, their faces filled with sycophantic smiles. I emotionlessly scrolled through her social media feed, which was filled with nothing but likes and fawning comments. "Chloe, you're amazing. Please look out for us, Ms. Liu." Chloe replied below. "Once I become a shareholder, I'll raise everyone's salaries." Below, there were countless likes and flattering remarks. A cold smile touched my lips. None of the company's senior executives had liked it. It seemed not all hearts were lost yet. Just then, my phone vibrated violently. It was Marcus calling. "Grace, what are you doing? Have you seen the social media feed? Chloe made a huge contribution to the company today. As a company shareholder, why aren't you showing some support? Post a comment, give it a like, set an example for the newcomers." I rolled my eyes and said calmly, "I don't have a habit of constantly checking other people's social media feeds. I have a lot of work to do." Marcus clicked his tongue, his tone revealing dissatisfaction and suspicion. "You've been in Seaview City for a week now, haven't you? What project is so difficult that it requires Ms. Meng to personally spearhead it for so long?" His mind was truly drifting further and further from work. I let out a light, sarcastic laugh. "The venture project has a budget of 200 million. Our competitor, Mr. Hayes, has been personally overseeing things here for over a month. If you thinks it's easy, why don't you try it yourself?" The other end of the line fell silent for a moment. Marcus seemed to sober up a bit. He was well aware of the importance of the ore venture. It was a massive deal he knew he couldn't handle himself. Taking advantage of his momentary speechlessness, I pressed on, my voice returning to a calm tone. "But don't worry, things are almost done here. I'll be back tomorrow, right on time for the shareholder meeting." Marcus said "oh," then asked tentatively, "So, you've looked over the shareholder meeting agenda and proposals, right?" My eyes scanned the share transfer proposal on my computer screen, and I said casually, "Yes, I have." He was silent for a second, then asked cautiously, "Do you have any objections?" I chuckled indifferently. "No objections at all." Immediately, I heard his relieved sigh from the other end of the line, and his voice became instantly lighter and smug. "That's good. That's excellent. Grace, I knew you were sensible and prioritized the big picture. You've worked hard, get some good rest tonight. See you tomorrow." Before he had even finished speaking, Chloe's sickly sweet voice came through from the other end of the phone. "Marcus, hurry. I want to share a special celebratory toast with you." Mwah. Marcus hastily muffled the receiver. I pretended not to hear and hung up immediately. Whom the gods would destroy, they first make mad. It seems the old saying is absolutely correct. I let out a cold laugh. The night was still long. And the real show was about to begin. Chapter 4. At the shareholder meeting, Chloe walked in wearing a business suit. Her gaze swept across the room, finally settling on the chair beside the main seat. That was my seat. The faces of several senior shareholders instantly darkened, and they cast worried glances my way. I smiled faintly, then calmly walked to the third seat from the head of the long table and sat down, completely at ease. Marcus seemed quite pleased with my discretion. He cleared his throat and announced the start of the meeting. "I propose that Ms. Chloe of the project department be exceptionally granted company shareholder status, in recognition of her outstanding contributions to the company recently." Before he finished speaking, Mr. Michael, a senior shareholder, immediately slammed his hand on the table. "I object. Chloe has only been with the company for 3 months, and she's made a pile of major mistakes. What right does she have to become a shareholder? How many dedicated long-term employees in this company haven't even had this opportunity?" Another shareholder, Mr. William, echoed with a cold laugh. "What outstanding contribution? Didn't Grace remotely assist in securing that deal she just signed? How can all the credit go to her?" Marcus's face instantly darkened. "Why dwell on past minor mistakes? Chloe is a fast learner and improves rapidly. The project she just signed, she secured that independently. Grace, tell us, whose credit is the Horizon deal really?" All eyes immediately converged on me. I slowly raised my head, my voice clear and steady. "Of course, the credit belongs to Chloe. She's young and capable, full of drive. For that project, she truly made an indispensable contribution." Chloe immediately breathed a sigh of relief, straightening her back even further, her face betraying unconcealed smugness. Marcus also smiled with satisfaction, his gaze at me carrying a hint of you know your place approval. Meanwhile, Mr. Michael and the others stared at me, dumbfounded and incredulous, their eyes filled with disappointment and bewilderment. Marcus struck while the iron was hot, his momentum growing. Excellent. Since her contributions are outstanding, she should be given a matching reward. I propose we grant Chloe 20% of the company shares. 20%. Mr. William exclaimed in shock. That immediately makes her the third largest shareholder. More shares than us? Marcus shook his head, a smile playing on his lips, and his gaze once again fell on me. Not the third, but the second. Grace, don't you have 30% of the shares under your name? You can transfer 20% to Chloe. After this, keeping 10% will be enough for you. You've been tired lately anyway, so this will be a good chance for you to rest more. At these words, the entire room fell into a deathly silence. Everyone was stunned by this blatant usurpation. Mr. Michael abruptly stood up, his face ashen, seemingly wanting to curse but too furious to speak. Grace, this is simply outrageous. You can't agree to this. Under everyone's tense gaze, I slowly smiled. Indeed, the only stake he dared to touch was mine. I slowly, and with determination, raised my right hand. I agree. Chapter 5. The conference room plunged into a deathly silence. Everyone stared at me in disbelief, including Marcus and Chloe. Marcus had expected me to at least argue, to object, never imagining I would agree so readily. Facing all their bewildered stares, I slowly explained. However, I have one supplementary proposal. I'm already 30 this year, and it's certainly time for me to devote more energy to my family. Therefore, I not only agreed to transfer that 20% of shares to Chloe, but I also decided to completely withdraw from the company's daily operations. Marcus's eyes lit up instantly, and Chloe gasped in delighted surprise, covering her mouth. I continued, speaking lightly. As for my remaining 10% of shares, I'll transfer them to you, Marcus. From now on, the company will rely entirely on you. I'll feel more at ease at home. Marcus practically leaped from his chair, his face a mix of wild joy and disbelief. Grace, you're truly so sensible and understanding. He was so excited he was almost incoherent. I gave a slight smile, then abruptly changed my tone, my gaze sharp. However, even family should keep clear accounts. I can't just give away these 30% of shares for free. You'll need to compensate me the full amount in cash, based on the company's current market valuation. Marcus didn't hesitate for a second, waving his hand grandly. No problem. That's only fair. We'll go by market price. In his eyes, getting me to relinquish power was a massive windfall. The faces of several senior shareholders had already shifted from shock to utter despair. Mr. William let out a faint cold laugh, muttering to himself. It's over. This company. It's completely doomed. Mr. Robert stood up directly, his face ashen. Since that's the case, if our paths diverge, there's no point in conspiring together. Marcus, please buy my shares at market price as well. I'm leaving. With someone taking the lead, two more senior executives immediately stood up, stating one after another. I'm out too. Count me in. Marcus, high on excitement, was infuriated by this sudden betrayal. He scoffed. Fine. Anyone who doesn't want to stay can take their money and leave right now. The company will only thrive without you old relics. I'll buy all your shares. Get out. The meeting ended in disarray and ill will. Marcus didn't care at all. He excitedly pulled Chloe into a hug and planted a fierce kiss on her cheek. Sweetheart. See? From now on, the company belongs to the two of us. Their combined shares would reach an astonishing 85%. In his eyes, this was undoubtedly a huge victory. Chloe nestled into his arms, giggling sweetly. Marcus, you're amazing. I silently gathered the documents on the table, then turned and left. Back home, I found the house unusually quiet and desolate. I received a message from Marcus. Since you've decided to become a housewife, you can do the housework yourself. I've let the housekeeper go. I finally couldn't help but let out a low laugh. Heh, that was quick. Already starting to domesticate me, are we? I immediately called Marcus. Remember, the money for the share transfer needs to be in my account tomorrow. I'll sign the documents as soon as I receive the payment. Marcus seemed a bit impatient. So urgent? I need time to manage my finances. You sign first, and the money will definitely be in your account within a week. My tone instantly turned cold. No. If I don't see the full payment within 2 days, I won't sign the transfer agreement. I had to get the money before the OR venture bidding and then make a clean break. The next day, a substantial sum of cash indeed arrived in my bank account. Without a moment's hesitation, I transferred the funds into a pre-established trust fund, to be managed by professional trustees. This money was now completely secure. That same evening, the internet quietly exploded. Hashtag Goo's second largest revealed to be a 3-month. Hashtag Grace Goo, founding suspected of marital. Hashtag Key Stage Exodus, Goo faces upheaval. Chapter 6 soon, photos of Chloe and Marcus on dates were unearthed. Their high-profile romance had left plenty of traces. Marcus called, shouting furiously. Grace, have you seen the news? Those damned paparazzi are slandering me. Hurry up, suppress the trending topics immediately. Issue a statement clarifying that it's all rumors. I let out a soft sigh, my tone troubled and helpless. Marcus, have you forgotten? I'm no longer a shareholder or an executive of the company. In what capacity can I represent the company to handle public relations? It wouldn't be proper. Marcus choked on my words, becoming even more agitated. You're not with the company, but you're still my wife. Grace, my image is your image. Now that I'm under attack, you should stand up and defend me. Defend this family. Chloe is practically in tears, almost fainting. Reporters and those livestream influencers are camped outside her apartment building. I need to get to her immediately, but I can't and leave. Figure something out. I actually laughed. How could he possibly think that a lawful wife would help her husband and his mistress handle a PR crisis? Was he out of his mind? I feigned a leisurely sigh. Oh, this is tricky, but it's not impossible to resolve. Look, the current public focus is on your marital infidelity and moral failings. What if we clarified that we had already divorced due to incompatible beliefs a while ago? I paused, giving him time to digest this, then continued with thoughtful additions. You and Chloe only got together after the divorce, making your relationship legitimate and legal. That way, all the accusations would be nullified, wouldn't they? The public outcry would naturally die down. The other end of the line fell into a deathly silence. I could hear Marcus's heavy breathing. He was clearly stunned by the proposal. Divorce? He seemed to have never imagined that word coming so calmly from my lips. Of course, it's a temporary measure. I know you love me, but this is a special time. For the sake of the company, for your reputation, this is the best solution. Otherwise, do you think reporters and netizens are so easily fooled? Marcus was silent for a few seconds on the other end, finally speaking with a touch of apology. You're right. This is the only way now. I'm sorry to put you through this, Grace. It's fine. As long as I can help you. I acted with utmost magnanimity, then swiftly changed the subject to practical matters. So, how should we write the divorce agreement? All company shares and operations go to you, and the house and household cash savings go to me. That would give me some security, right? And it would make it seem more authentic. Marcus, at this point, only wanted to get rid of the trouble quickly. He spoke with almost no hesitation. All right. Let's do it that way. It also ties in nicely with your share transfer, making it more plausible to the public. Less than 5 minutes later, a pre-prepared, clearly worded divorce agreement was sent to Marcus's phone. He quickly signed his name. I've signed. You can release the statement. I'm going to figure out how to get to Chloe's place now. Almost at the exact moment my statement was released, Marcus's car appeared below Chloe's apartment building. He walked into the lobby with a relaxed expression, amidst the frantic flashing of cameras. That same evening, Chloe's social media feed was updated impatiently. The image was a high-profile selfie of her kissing Marcus under the lights, with the caption, "Our love, out in the open." I let out a cold laugh, unconcernedly packing my luggage. I was going to take my parents on a world tour first. Counting the days, the Venture's landmine was about to explode. Chapter 7 The bidding announcement for the Venture was released, with Marcus personally overseeing it alongside Chloe. Chloe pouted at the computer screen, her face filled with impatience. Marcus, these numbers are making my head spin. Didn't Grace always handle all this before? So many acronyms and terms, I can't understand any of it. Did intentionally leave out the annotations in her proposal? Marcus snatched the documents, flipping through them himself, his brows furrowing deeper and deeper. Only then did he realize how much complex information I had processed for him in the past, presenting him with only the most straightforward results. Out of helplessness, he dialed my number. Grace. The venture. My parents and I were on an island, and the sea breeze carried away half of his sentence. Can't hear very well. I'm on an island. Bad signal. I'm hanging up now. Hello? Hello? Grace. Damn it. Marcus roared into the phone, then furiously slammed it to the ground. Left with no choice, he had to take charge himself, dragging Chloe into all-nighters to rush the work. Less than half an hour later, his roar erupted again. "Chloe, are you an idiot? The currency unit is wrong again. And a pile of typos. Venture is a tech company. Where did you copy this construction industry template from? How can they be the same?" He furiously slammed a stack of papers onto the table. Chloe recoiled in fear at his ferocious expression, crying out plaintively, "I just don't understand. I've only been here a few months. Grace never let me touch any of these core things before. She was just keeping me from them. Why are you yelling at me? Boo-hoo-hoo." The more she spoke, the more aggrieved she became, finally bursting into loud sobs. Marcus watched her crying beautifully, struggling to suppress his anger, and forced a smile. All right, stop crying. I was too hasty." Chloe, however, was relentless, crying even harder. Marcus wearily rubbed his temples, a deep sense of powerlessness washing over him. "Stop crying. Go buy a bag, use my card." Chloe's crying instantly ceased. Tears still clung to her face, but a smile had already appeared. "Really? Thank you, Marcus. I'm leaving now." Marcus watched her skip away, a momentary flicker of confusion in his eyes. Was this truly the young Grace from his memories, who, though naive, was resilient and stayed up all night with him, working on proposals while eating bread? It felt like something was wrong. He slumped into his chair, letting out a deep sigh, and continued to pull an all-nighter to revise the deeply flawed bidding document. After 3 consecutive days and 2 nights of staying up, Marcus felt a familiar, sharp pain in his chest, more intense than ever before. He instinctively reached for the medicine bottle in his pocket, but found it empty. Before, I would remind him to take his medicine regularly, rest, and do chest exercises. Now, no one reminded him anymore. Suddenly, his vision went black, and he toppled straight from his chair to the floor, unconscious. When he awoke again, he saw his parents' tear-swollen eyes. "Marcus, you can't push yourself so hard. The doctor said if you had been brought in a little later, you wouldn't have made it. Don't you know about your own heart condition?" Marcus weakly looked around, but didn't see the figure he was hoping for. "Where's Chloe?" Marcus's father's face was not good, and he sighed. "She came for a bit, and when she saw you weren't awake, she said the bidding document wasn't finished, and the company couldn't be left unattended, so she went back." A flicker of disappointment crossed Marcus's eyes, but he still forced himself to make excuses for her. "Yes, she's dedicated to work." Only 3 days remained until the bidding deadline. Marcus looked at the bidding document, still riddled with problems, and felt a despair he had never known before. He called my number again, his voice carrying a hint of plea. "Grace, we can't lose the venture. You're the only one who truly understands it. Can you come back? Help me just this once." I chuckled leisurely and calmly. "That project, huh? I think there's a hidden folder on my computer's D drive called venture. It contains old reports and data templates. Maybe you can find it? You might be able to adapt them." I paused, my tone becoming meaningful. "However, Marcus, take my advice, it's best to abandon this project." Marcus was in no mood for advice at this point, scoffing at my latter warning. "Abandon it? You're financially free now, you can just lie back and make sarcastic remarks." "I can't. The company needs this project to reach the next level." I just smiled, saying no more. "All right then. Well, good luck." Chapter 8. The day of the venture bid opening. When saw the words winning, he nearly jumped for joy. However, the next second, when he saw the winning bid amount that followed, the smile on his face instantly froze. Project, 200 million place, bid, 18 million place, Hayes bid, 190 million 18 million? Marcus thought his eyes were playing tricks on him. He rubbed them vigorously, and a chill instantly shot from his feet to the top of his head. "Chloe, what's with this price? You messed up the amount again." Chloe recoiled a step, frightened by his ferocious expression, and pouted plaintively. I didn't make a mistake. I wrote it according to the report in that hidden folder. The bid amount written in there was 18 million. Boo-hoo-hoo. Bullshit." Marcus frantically found the so-called report. Just one glance, and he was so furious his vision blurred. 18 million was for one regional test. There are 10 whole regions. The total price is 180 million. Are you trying to make the company lose every last penny? He roared, his chest heaving violently, and his heart began to ache faintly again. Chloe burst into loud sobs from being yelled at. "How was I supposed to know? Who can read such a long report?" You just yell at me. You're the one who told me to do it. Now that something's gone wrong, you blame me. Boo-hoo-hoo. Marcus looked at her, crying and shirking responsibility, and a vast sense of despair and powerlessness overwhelmed him. Mia recounted this scene to me in full. Many colleagues in the office were secretly reveling in schadenfreude. Marcus clutched his aching chest, his hand trembling as he dialed the client's number. The other party's expression immediately changed after hearing his words. Marcus, are you really that unprofessional? All the procedures are done, the announcement has been made, and now you're telling me you made a mistake. Negotiate? Rebid? Absolutely not. You're disrupting the bidding process. Let me tell you, either you sign the contract at this price, or your company will be considered to have maliciously abandoned the bid. You'll not only be blacklisted but also permanently barred from participating in all our group's projects. And don't even think about getting back a single penny of your $800,000 bidding deposit. You choose. The other party's tone softened slightly. Marcus, you need to think long-term. Once the project gets going, the budget can be gradually increased. There will always be opportunities to recoup losses from phase 2 or other areas. The other party painted a rosy picture for him, but Marcus had almost no choice. The deposit was minor, but being blacklisted by OrVenture meant losing long-term partnership opportunities. Helpless, he had no choice but to sign the project, clinging to the vague verbal promise of future budget increases from the other party. Just 3 months after the project began, a massive financial black hole became apparent. The initial investment was like a bottomless pit. 100 million had already been sunk into it, and even receiving the full contract payment wouldn't be enough to cover the deficit. Moreover, the client's requirements kept changing, and both acceptance testing and phase 2 were indefinitely postponed. The collection calls from suppliers and the bank's credit department kept coming, their tone growing more and more impolite. The CFO reported, his face filled with despair. We can't make payroll next month. Marcus hadn't expected the crisis to hit so fast. Go apply for a loan immediately. Use my personal property as collateral, the mansion downtown. The CFO cautiously reminded him. After your divorce from Grace, the house was transferred to Grace. You no longer have the right to mortgage it. He was instantly dumbfounded. When I next received Marcus's call, his voice was filled with helplessness. Grace, the company is failing, it's going bankrupt. Let's get remarried. Please bring back the house and the cash to save the company. I couldn't help but laugh. Get remarried? Marcus, what are you talking about? What does the company's bankruptcy have to do with me? But our divorce was fake back then. It was to manage public opinion, he cried out desperately. I laughed even harder. Your infidelity was real, forcing me to give up my shares was real. How could you ever think our divorce was fake? Marcus looked as if he'd been struck by lightning, instantly understanding everything. From stepping down from operations, to readily transferring shares, and then suggesting divorce, every single step had been part of my plan. You did this on purpose. Grace, how could you be so vicious-hearted? We were married for 10 years. 10 years of shared life, he roared hysterically. My voice instantly turned cold. Marcus, when you betrayed me, why didn't you think about those 10 years? Now you want to talk about conscience with me? You're not worthy. I hung up directly and blocked his number. Marcus frantically called back, but only received the cold message. The number you have dialed is not reachable. He was so enraged he smashed things in his office, cursing me as vicious-hearted. He started calling around for money, but his erstwhile sworn brothers either politely refused or simply didn't answer. Michael cut to the chase. I told you long ago not to play with fire. Chloe wasn't your regret, she was your downfall. As far as I'm concerned, this is for Grace's sake, and I couldn't care less about you. Now, reap what you sow. Word had already spread throughout their circle about how he had treated his wife who had built the company with him. No one trusted his character or abilities anymore. Who would dare lend money to a clueless idiot who couldn't even get the bid price right and drove away his wife and the old guard? Just then, his phone dinged, a bank text alert popping up. Your additional credit card ending in 3454 has a transaction of yen 100,000.00. Immediately afterward, Chloe's WhatsApp message popped up, accompanied by a selfie of her wearing a brand new diamond necklace. Marcus, look at my new necklace, isn't it pretty? I'll wear it when we celebrate Valentine's Day next week. Love you, hugs and kisses. Marcus felt the last ounce of his strength drain away. He futilely clutched at his already disheveled hair, his body slowly sliding down the wall. This was no young Grace. This was clearly a debt collector, a blood-sucking fiend. Chapter 9. Freeze all the additional cards under my name. Yes. Especially the one ending in 3454. Immediately. Less than 10 minutes after he hung up, his phone started ringing frantically. Chloe's shrill, piercing voice came through. Marcus, what do you mean by this? How dare you freeze my card? I'm out shopping, and you're making me lose face in front of my girlfriends. Unfreeze it right now. Listening to her self-righteous accusations, Marcus felt an overwhelming sense of irony and despair. Chloe, the company is about to go bankrupt. Do you hear me? Bankrupt. After liquidation, if the company is insolvent, all shareholders will be held jointly liable. Don't you have 20% of the shares? Get ready to shoulder the debt. Chloe's bluster instantly vanished, her voice filled with unbelievable panic. Bankrupt? How is that possible? Wasn't the horizon I signed worth 20 million? How could it go bankrupt? 20 million? Marcus's smile was uglier than a cry. That project stalled ages ago. The client wants to terminate the contract and demand compensation because of our mistakes and service issues. How did you ever manage to be a project manager? You ignored client complaints. What else can you do besides spend money and cry? That evening, Marcus drowned his sorrows in alcohol at the office, drinking himself into oblivion. The next midday, he struggled to pick up his phone, only to find dozens of missed calls and a pile of messages asking about Chloe's whereabouts. His heart sank. He frantically dialed Chloe's number, but it was switched off. An ominous premonition instantly enveloped him. Hey, I think I saw your little girlfriend at Sydney. She was with an older man, and they looked pretty intimate. What's going on? The realization hit him like a thunderclap. Marcus understood instantly. The woman who had sworn repeatedly that she only loved him, in his most desperate hour, had abandoned him without hesitation, flying off with another man. Ah! Marcus smashed everything in his office that he could get his hands on. Bitch! Liar! May you rot in hell! He cursed wildly, tears and snot smearing his face. Only then did he truly understand the meaning of regret. The group officially announced its bankruptcy liquidation. The final audit showed the company was insolvent, with net liabilities reaching 200 million yuan. During this time, Marcus tried every method imaginable and finally got through to me again. His voice was hoarse and broken, and he was sobbing uncontrollably. Grace, I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. Please, for the sake of our 10 years together, help me this one time. I'll be your servant to repay you for the rest of my life. I was sitting in a Michelin 3-star restaurant, cutting my steak. Marcus, we're divorced. Your debts have nothing to do with me. Marcus's voice trembled. Are you truly so heartless? I just made a mistake all men make. I don't deserve this. If only you had been a bit gentler, less assertive back then, I wouldn't have been led astray by Chloe. You can't put all the blame on me. Besides, I've already begged you. What more do you want from me? I put down my knife and fork, and gently dabbed my lips with a napkin. Marcus, even now, you still want to blame me? Did I hold a knife to your throat and force you to cheat with Chloe? Did I hold your hand and make you sign that venture contract? Did I make you so stupid you couldn't even read the bid price correctly? Or did I force Chloe to abscond with the funds? Every single one of these things. Didn't you bring it upon yourself? You reap what you sow, don't you? What, now that you're in trouble, you're resentful because I'm not crying hysterically as you expected, not struggling in the mud with you? A deathly silence fell on the other end of the line. After a long pause, he quietly hung up. Later, I heard he was driving for a ride-sharing service during the day to make ends meet, and at night, he was hiding in a cheap rental and selling courses online via livestream. His course titles were sensational, from CEO to Deep in Debt, Mayan Failure, and Reading and Hearts, How to Avoid Betrayed by Those You. He tried to sell his painful experiences, but viewers were few, and tips were almost non-existent. On screen, his eyes were clouded, his hair thinning. He had long lost his youthful vigor, replaced only by the numbness and resentment of a man crushed by life. As for me, after traveling the world, I re-established my company. Many old colleagues came to me, expressing their willingness to continue working with me. I welcomed like-minded individuals, but I turned away opportunistic sycophants. My company thrived, and my life became fulfilling and wonderful. Later, many excellent suitors appeared in my life, but I wasn't in a hurry to fall into another trap. There's still a long way to go. It's so much better to just slowly enjoy it. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.